Today you will learn how to make a vertical garden with automatic irrigation. Today's project is really cool for those who live in a small space. You have 1 square meter at home or in your apartment and want to build a garden. There's no way. We ran 2 full tests of this vertical garden here. When Mari saw it, she fell in love and insisted on taking it home. So I know it will impact many lives. This garden is one of 8 special projects launching the Manual Maker website. We've already taught how to make a folding table and how to recycle PLA, which is the plastic used in printing. The idea of the Manual Maker website is for us to put all the project information there. I won't spend much time today on measurements, details or material lists, but the main goal is for you to also be able to upload your own projects. So, if you had a cool idea and want to improve this garden a bit, have a different garden model or something completely unrelated, have you created a robot with Arduino or found a new way to build a boat? Share your knowledge here to teach others. You don't have to pay anything to publish your project, and you also don't have to pay to see other people's projects. The idea is to create a maker community. She understands that testing and experimenting can be the first step to creating bigger and bigger things that can change the world. So let's go. 3 basic steps to create our garden today. First, build the structure with polyvinyl chloride and the pot. Then set up irrigation and make the garden. Let's start then by making the markings on the polyvinyl chloride pipe, which is the main piece of our garden. This pipe is 2 meters tall. It's a sewage pipe, 15 centimeters in diameter. It needs to go inside a large pot, okay? I think we went a bit overboard with this pot, which is about 45 centimeters tall. A smaller pot would work, but a bigger one makes the garden safer since it's less likely to tip over. The first mark I'm gonna make then is for the soil level up to where we're gonna fill this pot with soil. I think that matches this black line here. Now I need to mark the openings, the spots where we'll have space to plant something. I'm going to split this pipe into 4 sections. Check out this technique. I'm going to wrap tape around it backwards with the sticky side facing out. Then I'll put another layer on top, normally with the sticky side facing in. Then you just cut it, fold it twice, and that's it. It's divided into 4. Just put it back on the pipe and mark those fold points. The next step is to turn those marks into lines that will run along the entire pipe. I'll attach a straight raised piece of wood, place and secure the polyvinyl chloride against it, then run a pencil along. This gives a perfect straight line. I'm also making marks every 10 centimeters. They're already marked on the wood, which is serving as a guide. Then make a small mark on the polyvinyl chloride pipe. And now comes the secret. I'm going to mark the spot where we're actually going to cut the polyvinyl chloride. And to make this mark, I'm going to use a piece of the pipe itself, a section of the pipe itself here, because then I can fit it here to use as a guide. How does this marking work? I have 4 stripes around the pipe, like there are 4 roads here. I'm going to mark this one every 20 centimeters. I make this line here. On the next stripe, on the neighboring stripe, I'm going to make the markings exactly in the middle of where I made this one. So if I have this one and this one, the next one goes here. For the 3rd stripe, we continue alternating the positions of these marks. Marking done. Now we actually need to cut where I made these lines here, remembering that these will be the holes where I'll put the plants. So I didn't mark, and I'm not going to cut this part that goes inside the pot. Danny will help me, but there's no real mystery here. Polyvinyl chloride is super easy to cut, so we can make these cuts using a hacksaw, a small saw. Ideally, you should follow exactly the line that was drawn, because that's going to be the spacing between the plants. Now let's open up the space for the plants. I'm going to do this using a heat gun. It will soften the polyvinyl chloride, and then we'll use this tool here, which is a polyvinyl chloride pipe that's 5 centimeters in diameter or 50 millimeters. It's cut at a 45-degree angle at the end. The idea here is to keep heating the pipe until it softens. As soon as you notice the polyvinyl chloride is already soft, you insert the other pipe and bend it. Pay close attention to the position we're using to insert the smaller pipe. This automatically forms a lip on the outside here, where the plant will grow. Since polyvinyl chloride takes a while to cool down, we use a damp cloth to speed up the process a bit. And you don't have to stand here holding this pipe for about 5 minutes. The result we're getting isn't perfectly uniform. Once the plants are in, you won't even notice these openings shape. turned out great, huh? Check it out. Depending on the size of the plants you're going to put in, this spacing might be too tight, okay? We alternated every 20 between rows. You can, for example, divide the pipe into 3 or space them every 30. Anyway, this is the layout we thought would look the nicest. If we just stick this into the pot, it won't stay upright, it'll start to bend. So, I need to put some kind of support here to make it more stable in the pot. I'm going to use these pieces of construction rebar, but you can use whatever you have at home. It could even be a piece of wood, a threaded rod, I don't know. The important thing is to make it harder for this thing to fall over. I'm going to measure the inner diameter of the pot and then cut this piece of steel using the hacksaw again. Next, just drill the pipe. And I already have that mark I made at the beginning, so I can make a hole exactly on the opposite side of the other. Look how it turned out. The 2 steel rods cross the polyvinyl chloride. I took the steel rods out because I want to make some holes here, since I think it's important to have a way for the water to drain. The pipe touches the pot's bottom, which prevents water from accumulating. The first part, which was the structure, is done. Now we're going to start with the irrigation, in this case micro-irrigation. Basically, we have a little hose that's 6 millimeters in diameter. It's made of a kind of hard plastic, but it's really cheap, okay? You can buy the whole roll or just parts. I also have some tees that fit this hose, okay? So we can have a main hose and create several branches, several irrigation outlets. At the end where the water actually comes out, we have a kind of little faucet, which is a dripper. We attach the hose to the pointed back part, and I control water flow from the front. There are many models. I'll use one of the simplest and most common. There are several ways to secure this small hose to the ground and prevent it from being a nuisance. The fanciest one we have here is a little stake, a spec made with 3D printing, which has a fitting for the hose at the tip. Another option, which I bought to test, are these plastic stakes that come with a Helaman strap. So you can fasten the Helaman strap through these holes it has and then attach it to the hose. And finally, the most complex and expensive part of the setup is a watering timer. They're waterproof, so you can leave them outside without worry. I've had one at my house for about 4 years. In fact, the battery lasts about 2 years, more or less. Basically, you connect one side to the faucet and the other side you can connect directly to our micro-irrigation hose. And then you set the watering time, E. For example, I can set it so I only want to water on Mondays and Wednesdays, E for 10 minutes at 8 in the morning. Let's move to the fun part, assembling everything. This irrigation system fits inside the pipe and ends up completely hidden. I have to assemble it outside because it's easier. I'm going to secure the beginning of the hose with some tape here at the top, and then I'll figure out where I want the drippers to come out. So I cut and start installing the tees, building branches, creating extensions here. The cool thing about doing it on the outside is that it's really easy to work with and you can fit it exactly where things are going to happen. Once everything is ready, I drill holes where I want to run the pipes. I run the whole set of hoses through the polyvinyl chloride pipe and pull the ends out through the holes I made. And then, yes, I start installing the drippers. I cut off the excess beforehand and leave it really close to the polyvinyl chloride pipe so it can drip inside the soil, because otherwise it starts dripping outside the pipe. It doesn't make sense. We'll use 7 drippers in the garden, okay? 1 up here, then I have 2 in this position, 2 more here halfway, and 2 that will water the plants in the pots. I left about 3 meters of hose here to connect to the timer. Let's install it where the garden will be. I'm gonna put 3 bricks here on the ground. They'll serve as support to lift the pot up a little because I need some space underneath it so the water can drain. The end of the little hose that I'm going to connect to the water has to be passed through the pot's drain. After that, I stand it up and then I insert those metal bars that will secure our polyvinyl chloride tower. Next, we begin stage 3. Focusing on gardening by preparing the pot and plants. The first layer I'm going to put in is brick shards. This is important for drainage, to let the water flow out easily from the bottom and not clog the pot's drain, right? So the pot doesn't turn into a pool when it rains or when we water it. On top, we put a layer of expanded clay, which looks like river pebbles, but it's really light. Then we add a geotextile mat, which is this kind of rug here, to keep the soil from invading the layer underneath. Yes, we fill it with soil starting at the base and nearly to the top. And then I'll put the soil over the pipe, adjusting it by hand and adding more soil. I can't leave this too loose, otherwise when I water it, all the soil will go down. And then on top, there won't be any left, everything will fall apart. It's almost ready. But there's something I should have done before, which is testing the irrigation. If there's any leak, I'll have to take everything apart and it'll be terrible. I'll install the timer here. How does it work? It already comes with this little nozzle here, which I can connect to the micro-irrigation hose. Then we attach this set to the timer with a quick connector, and the timer goes on the faucet. I'll turn on the timer to test it. I won't explain how it works since each model differs. Check the manual. Oh, look how cool that is. Some of them are letting out a lot of water because the little faucet is completely open. But I can close it and leave just a very light drip. Nothing is coming out here. I'll open it. The idea is to use a small water flow. How many minutes will the timer run? That depends on the plant you have. If it rains a lot in your area and how much you open the little faucet or not. Make a small adjustment there. The key is that after watering, every plant has some water. Let's start planting. What did we choose to plant here? On the top goes green onion, as if it were a kind of hair for our garden. Then some rows of lettuce, half curly, half smooth. You must have noticed, obviously we're planting this in a spiral to give it that special look here. Next, there are 2 arugula plants, then spinach, then parsley, mint basil, and down there 4 tomato plants. Since this became a muddy mess, we need to wipe it with a damp cloth afterward. After all, our garden also has an aesthetic value. We started at 9 in the morning, now it's 5 in the afternoon. And this is our vertical garden with automatic irrigation. If this isn't worth a like, I don't know what is. You guys must have noticed that we have 3 vertical gardens here. That's because we just made this one. But the other 2 were the tests we did weeks ago here at Manual do Mundo. This is part of a commitment we have with you to show quality things that really work. What we're not sure about yet is which plant species will do best in this type of garden. We'll have that answer in about 4 months. I'll make a video, post it on the Manual Maker website to update this project, and you'll know what to plant here. If you've created a vertical garden or made this one at home and discovered which plant worked best, please share it in the comments. That's the spirit of Manual Maker. Deal.